Hello, welcome back. I have some sad news, at least sad news for me. We had an accident, and the cow mug has broken. Now, I could just toss this out, but I like this mug, and I think that I can eventually fix it. So, I'm going to hold on to it. But, in order to fix it, I have to understand what's wrong. And what's wrong here is there's an issue with the molecular bonding with ceramic. So I have to get some sort of adhesive that's going to mend it and hold it together. Now, just like physical things can be broken, we can have brokenness in ourselves, which is a spiritual brokenness. And if I didn't know what the true issue was, then I can just sit here and try to make this go back together all day. Probably just go make it worse, chipping little pieces off, and it won't. It's not gonna hold together. I could try to, just maybe, I could drink out of this if I was real careful. I don't know. It's not gonna work too well. I'm gonna get burned by the hot tea that spills onto me. And just like that example, we can trying to heal ourselves, fix ourselves. Um, there's a car coming. Thanks for pausing for the brief intermission. But we can take different things like relationships or addictions or whatever things we try to fill in our lives to try to just ignore this brokenness and make things work, and we can just try to fit them together all day, all your life, whatever. It's not going to work. So to fix these spiritual problems that are inside, then we have to go inside and take a look at them. And then also the key to fixing spiritual problems would be a spiritual one, right? I mean, I can swallow some super glue, but that's probably not going to mend anything inside. In fact, it's probably going to cause some more issues. Fortunately, there's someone who knows us better than we know ourselves, and knows how to mend, knows how to heal those matters, which is God. In fact, there's an entire parable in the Bible talking about the potter's field, and essentially just how there's this field full of these broken pieces, and a field that's completely worthless for anything else, because there's just a bunch of clay, and there's a bunch of holes in it. The potter's field, where the potter would just dig holes to pull out this clay for making things, and there's just a bunch of trash, broken pieces there. But this person representing God comes and buys this field and all the broken pieces that go with it, and then he takes these and he begins to mend them, and he rekilns them and brings beauty out of what was broken. And that's the same thing that he can do with us if we're willing. But first, you have to recognize that you have these problems and issues, and this shadow, this shadow self that we don't like to take a look at. But in order to fix it, you have to, one, understand it, and if you're going to understand it, then you have to face it. So when you go in and you take a look at yourself and you realize, okay, yeah, I'm not perfect, I've got some problems, but you humble yourself and you bring those to God and be like, okay, like this is what we're dealing with here, and I'm going to trust you to lead me through this healing process. And it's only when we face these things that we can do anything about it. There go the trash people. You probably didn't see it. There's a, I don't know what you call that. It's a tractor with wheels and a bucket on the front. It's like a backhoe, but there's no scoop on it. My construction people know what I mean. But, I don't know. Most of society is just people running away from their problems, whatever way that they try to fill and meet those needs. But we were made for something greater than just this physical world and anything. There's many things that people chase in this life that are just they're temporary, they're gonna fade away. But when you focus on what's eternal, then you're no longer wasting your efforts. I mean, granted, like, you still have to live in this physical world, so you have to make a means to provide for yourself and your family. But there's something beyond just the 9 to 5. And I think a lot of people are searching for that meaning and purpose. And there is this sense of longing, this sense of absence that I think everyone feels inside, whether they admit it or not. But knowing that there's got to be something more. There's got to be a purpose for this pain. There's got to be a reason that I'm here. And there is. So seek that. Tap into it.